Welcome back to Therapy Thursday. Back in 2011, Pete and I posted one of our very first YouTube videos called the Nordic Hamstring Curl. And at that point in time, the Nordic Hamstring Curl was shown to have some preventative success for hamstring injuries. The Nordic Curl is set up where your heels are fixed. In this case, I've got a bar, but often it's described as partner assisted. And we've got a neutral hip position, tall posture, and we're going to slowly control our torso lean. Typically, it's described as an eccentric only exercise, but absolutely you can lift up and involve the concentric portion of that as well. What we've learned about the Nordic Hamstring Curl is it's great for building knee flexor strength, but it does nothing to build hip extension strength. So when compared against exercises where the hamstring is put in a flex position, the biceps femoris long head, for example, has more stimulus and can strengthen our hypertrophy to a greater degree when we involve different hip flexion angles. So where does that leave us in terms of the best rehabilitation strategies now? Realistically, you're combining hip-dominant hamstring strategies and knee-dominant strategies. The Nordic Hamstring Curl is still a great option for a knee-dominant strategy. Hip-dominant strategies such as a Romanian deadlift or a long lever hip bridge are great ways to complement your knee-dominant strategy with some hip-dominant exercises. One exercise that blends both knee-dominant and hip-dominant strategies is a slight variation of the Nordic Hamstring Curl, and it's called the hamstring razor curl. Same setup, either partner assisted or fixing the heels, but instead of keeping the hips in neutral, you're going to fold inwards so that your torso is lower to the ground. And now we're starting in a bent knee and bent hip position, and we're trying to control our hover as we fully lengthen out. And if you want to involve the concentric, you're pulling back. So again, trying to hold and control this knee extension and hip extension, and then trying to drive back into knee flexion and hip flexion. This is not the end-all be-all, but what we've learned is that these combined knee-dominant and hip-dominant strategies are the best way to blend your strength-building phase for hamstring rehab. Certainly, there's the more sport-specific phase. Maybe we can do a paired Therapy Thursday with evolution trainers and show some of the more sport-specific, high-energy plyometric type end-stage rehab for hamstring as well. But give the hamstring razor curl a try, and let's understand that there has to be knee-dominant and and hip-dominant strategies when building strength and rehabbing that hamstring. See you next week on Therapy Thursday.